You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. Now, I'm covering the welterweight division today, and you got the WBC champion, Keith Thurman. You have this saga with Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter. Who's the mandatory, who's not the mandatory, who's the number one contender, who's not the number one contender, who gets the first crack at Keith Thurman and who gets the second crack. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background. First, Shawn Porter fought Andre Berto and he fought Adrian Granados, two WBC eliminators, for the right to be the number one contender for Keith Thurman. Now, how does Andre Berto and Adrian Granados get you a mandatory number one? I don't know, but that's what the WBC set up for Shawn Porter. Also, in an interview, I think it was with the Boxing Voice, big shout out to Nesta Gibbs. They doing a real big over there. It's one of my favorite boxing shows. I think in an interview with Nesta Gibbs, I think Kenny Porter, Shawn Porter's father, said that they paid basically $200,000 to the WBC for those title eliminators to get that shot and to be ranked number one. So basically, they didn't want to waste $200,000. Now, let's go to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia beat Brandon Rios in a title eliminator to become the number one contender for the WBC championship. Now, how does a fight with Brandon Rios get you a number one ranking with the WBC? I don't know. Y'all put one and two together. But he beats Brandon Rios, and now Danny Garcia is a mandatory for Keith Thurman. So the WBC decides to assign two mandatory defenses back-to-back for Keith one-time Thurman, Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia. And Shawn Porter, Kenny Porter, has been going around saying that they're the number one for Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman can't make no movements unless it goes through them. And that's how they've been talking. So now the WBC just screwed Shawn Porter, just screwed Kenny Porter. You go look at the WBC rankings, and I put them up in the pictures flowing through this actual video. Or you can look it up yourself through the WBC website. They have Danny Garcia number one, and they have Shawn Porter number two. Kenny Porter and Shawn Porter spent $200,000 and fought two title eliminators just for them to be ranked number two. If that's not a screw job, I don't know what that is. But see, the reason why I'm saying this is because Kenny Porter and Shawn Porter has been defending the WBC for the longest. They've been saying it's all about the WBC. They want the WBC belt. Like, they've been defending this sanctioning body for the longest. And this is the sanctioning body that screwed them. Screwed them worse than the IBF. Anybody that knows Shawn and Kenny Porter, they have an issue with the IBF because after they lost their belt to Kell Brook, they were completely dropped from the rankings, period, and were never given an explanation. So that's why they said they don't want to fight for the IBF. That's why the Earl Spence thing is out of the question. But see, I know that I'm a new channel. I know that nobody knows me right now. But they will know me in the future. And just because nobody's looking doesn't mean that I'm not putting the work in. Now, January 24th, 2018, I sent Shawn Porter a direct message on Instagram. I have that flowing in the video as well. And I told him, I was real respectful. I told him I was a big fan of his. I wished him nothing but the best. And in an interview, Shawn Porter stated that he didn't know why he wasn't ranked with the IBF. He said he didn't know. And this is why I don't believe a lot of these fighters and managers and promoters, like, they just put stuff out there. So I personally emailed the IBF and asked them, why was Shawn Porter not ranked? And they told me that his last 2 fights were WBC title eliminators, and that's why he's not ranked with the IBF. So I sent Shawn Porter a direct message on Instagram, and I wasn't expecting a response because he doesn't know me and he probably gets thousands of messages. I wasn't expecting a response. I personally told him that the IBF did not rank him because his last 2 fights with the WBC were title eliminators. Okay, so technically you can't say he don't know. All right, so because G5 Jeff TV told him. Now, the question that Shawn and Kenny Porter have to ask is it about you guys getting a title shot, or is it about who you guys are fighting? Because the IBF also made it perfectly clear, and it's a known fact, that you can ask the IBF to be ranked in their sanctioning body, and they'll tell you what you need to do to be ranked in your sanctioning body. You know, and boxing runs like no other sport in the world, but I mean, this is just what it is. I also have the IBF rankings scrolling through in this video. They don't even have anybody ranked number 1. They just got somebody ranked number 2, and that was the guy that was in the opening fight on the Danny Garcia, Brandon Rios card. And then I'm pretty sure Earl Spence has no problem going to the IBF and asking, can Shawn Porter be a voluntary? Can they rank him so he can get a title shot? See, Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter can't lean on it's all about the WBC and I done paid $200,000. Because the WBC just pretty much said, fuck your $200,000. We ranking Danny Garcia. Because let's just keep it real, like, a Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman fight is going to bring in more money than a Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter fight, or a Keith Thurman and a Shawn Porter fight. And WBC realizes that. They tried to say Keith Thurman was going to fight 2 mandatories back-to-back, but he can't even make his comeback fight. He hasn't even announced anybody yet. So it's not even a guarantee that Keith Thurman is even going to fight May 19th. He hasn't mentioned an opponent yet. It's almost April. Okay? So they tried to do the 2 mandatories back-to-back. That didn't work. They didn't want to put Shawn Porter up against Danny Garcia because ultimately they want Danny Garcia to have a shot because there's more money. WBC sanctioning body, they're about money. So Shawn Porter's too risky of a fight for Danny Garcia. I think Danny Garcia beat Shawn Porter, but that's too risky of a fight. So the next best thing for them was to screw Shawn Porter. Screw him. So the point of me making this video is for Shawn Porter, because I'm a big fan of Shawn Porter's. I'm a big fan of Kenny Porter. You claim the IBF screwed you. Now the WBC has screwed you. You're living your boxing life through the sanctioning bodies. If you're the star that you say you are, then you shouldn't be defined by these belts. And you have a champion in Earl Spence that's offering you a shot. Damn the rankings and all of that. He's offering you a shot. And he has an open slot in June in Texas. Bro, make it happen. Make it happen. Y'all all got the same manager. Go to Al Heyman. Hey, listen. WBC is screwing over. I paid $200,000. Meant absolutely nothing. I fought 2 eliminators for nothing. I fought 2 eliminators to be number 2. You see what time it is with the WBC. Line up that Earl Spence fight for me in June. And if you are who you say you are, you're gonna beat Earl Spence. A lot of these fighters is putting their careers on hold for sanctioning bodies and for champions that's bullshitting. Keith Thurman is bullshitting right now. Like, he's bullshitting right now. He's on his Floyd Mayweather. But Shawn Porter is stalling his career for this. $200,000, 2 eliminators for the WBC, and the WBC just turned around, put 2 middle fingers up, and was like, fuck you. And this is who you stalling your career for? Earl Spence is standing right there on record saying that he would fight Shawn Porter. You know what? Since Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter don't want to contact the IBF, and I contacted the IBF, G5 Jeff TV contacted the IBF, and I told them what they said since they didn't want to do it. You know what should happen? Earl Spence should go to the IBF and ask them to rank Shawn Porter since he doesn't want to make the phone call or the email or whatever the case may be. Earl Spence, if you listening, anybody on Earl Spence team listening, y'all reach out to the IBF and ask, can Shawn Porter be ranked? And watch they say, sure, no problem. Because that's big money. Shawn Porter versus Earl Spence is bigger money than anybody that's in their top 5 or top 10. Now, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Please share this video. Support your boy. Support good content at all times. Appreciate y'all. Peace.